Greetings from Tokyo. I hope you're well. As a continuation of a previous video that I made about certain Criterion Collection titles that are out of print, or OOP, I thought I might make some comments about some other Criterion Collection titles that are unfortunately OOP, at least as of the time of this video. Let's look here. So this is spine number 453, CHUNGKING Express. Now this is the Blu-ray Digipack, as you can see. I don't have the DVD equivalent of CHUNGKING Express because I have the Blu-ray. I also, incidentally, have it on this sort of plastic Scanovo case version. This is still in its seal because I have this, so I don't need to open it at this particular point in time. Next is the Carlos Sora's Flamenco Trilogy Eclipse set. Now, the Eclipse set, as you may know or may not know, is a DVD set. Now, there are approximately 45 or 46 Eclipse sets as of now, I want to say. I'm sorry if I don't have that number exactly correct. Of the Eclipse sets, there is only one that is OOP, which is this one. Now, there are 3 discs inside. So there's the Carlos Sora's Flamenco Trilogy, excuse me. Now, I don't mean to, this is by no means to brag, but I should just let you know there's a second one right there. Now, I'm not a hoarder by nature in terms of collecting Criterion. I had one of these already, and I was looking at Yahoo Auction, which is an auction website in Japan, because I'm in Japan. And I happened to find the Carlos Sora's Flamenco Trilogy in used condition, obviously, up for sale on that website, auction website, and it was being offered for the equivalent of about $20 US. I bid. I was the only bidder, and I won. So, as a result, I became the owner of 2 sets of the Carlos Sora's Flamenco Trilogy. Excuse me. Anyway, Yahoo Auction is highly recommended if you are able to successfully access it. Next is one of my favorite films in the Criterion Collection, and I'm so sad that it's out of print at the moment. Spine number 488, Howard's End. Now, this is the Blu-ray, and I don't have, well, I'm sorry, this is still sealed, and I don't feel the need to open this at the moment because I also have it on this DVD, which is also unfortunately out of print. Now, the Criterion Collection for around the mid-2000s released a number of films from the Merchant and Ivory filmmakers. So the Merchant Ivory Productions line of the Criterion Collection, as it were, had, I think, about 10 to 12 films from Merchant Ivory, amongst which was this one, Howard's End. This is really, really nice. I'm a big fan of this film. I really love this film. I love the E.M. Forster novel, and I am an admirer of this film. 1992, yes. And this is the performance that won Emma Thompson her Academy Award for Best Actress, if I recall. And Anthony Hopkins was in this. I think the year prior to Howard's End, he had won Best Actor for The Silence of the Lambs, if my memory is not mistaken. Yes. Yes, I think actually the Oscar ceremony in 1992, when Emma Thompson won, it was really kind of a nice coincidence because Anthony Hopkins, having won the previous year for Best Actor, was actually the presenter for the Best Actress award, which ended up going to Emma Thompson. So he ended up giving the award to his fellow co-star. It was a really nice coincidence, I thought. Anyway, Howard's End, one of my favorite films in the Criterion collection. I dare say that it's probably in my maybe top 10 favorite Criterion collection releases. Maybe I'll do a top 10 of my favorites one of these days in a separate video. One more and then I'll finish. The film SALO, or 120 Days of Sodom, is a very challenging film, but it's one that I advocate very strongly. I think it's a very important film, and for reasons which I don't want to get into right now. For purposes of this video, though, let me just say that SALO is available in this version, which is the Blu-ray. Now, the Blu-ray currently is not OOP. In other words, it is still readily available as far as I understand. So you can very easily get this particular version now if you wanted to. For the longest time, however, before this particular release was made, the DVD of SALO was out of print, and it was it's spine number 17, so it was an early release. So this is it. It was considered, or it is considered, I'm sorry, I should take that back. When this was still OOP, this was extremely expensive, very expensive, and it was prone to, counterfeit fakes being made, so you had to be sure that you had an authentic one if you were going to buy it. So there are all these little tricks that you needed to know in order to get a good copy, an authentic copy of SALO, if you weren't one of the privileged few who bought a copy of SALO at the time it was released. So this is, I don't know how much this is. I mean, it shouldn't be that expensive given that the subsequent release was made and is still available. However, it has been known to fetch quite a pretty penny on eBay and other such sites. This particular one, oh yes, this particular one that I was able to grab contains the sticker, which was a nice touch, I thought. And the white ring right here, the frosted ring. Anyway, so these are some other items. Oh, I'm sorry, I should say one more thing about SALO. So it's still a pretty collectible item, and again, if you are looking to be further complete as far as your Criterion collection collecting goes, of course it might be worthwhile to grab this as a sort of, I don't know, historical artifact or souvenir of Criterion days long gone, as it were. And it's sort of an interesting artifact, if for anything else than for the fact that for a while there it was probably one of, if not the most expensive collectible of the OOP DVD lineup from the Criterion collection, fetching hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars even in some instances, which I think is quite ludicrously high. Anyway, if you're interested, SALO, the DVD. But if you're not interested, there is a very, very worthy release on Blu-ray. I don't happen to have this particular release on DVD because I feel the Blu-ray alone suffices in terms of its content, its supplements, and my own particular needs as a collector of Criterion collection. Anyway, that's it. So again, to repeat the items that I was talking about today, we have SALO, Howard's End, Carlos Sora's Flamenco Trilogy, and CHUNGKING Express. Excuse me. Thank you very much. And again, if you want to talk or comment or you have a question, please feel free to leave a comment below, or you can find me on Facebook and you can talk to me there. I'm not claiming to be an expert in terms of Criterion collection collecting. I am just a fan, and a very big fan at that. And I love collecting these, and I also love learning about aspects of Criterion collection that I had, hitherto not known. So I might not have all the answers, but I'm certainly willing to listen to any questions or comments you may have. And hopefully, if it's something that I am able to answer, then I'd be happy to do so. Anyway, thank you very much, and best of luck to all of you out there who are hunting for Criterion collection. I really hope you find what it is you're looking for. Cheers, and take care.